I've been following the career, if you want to call it that, of Donald Trump for many, many moons. A tiring, long slog, if you will. I grew up in New York City when he was just this goofball real estate guy. People mostly laughed at his ridiculous hair, which I believe that was Penn Teller, or Gillette Penn of Fennendeller, who called it, I believe, what do you call it? Piss cotton candy? That's about right. Who wore these ridiculous suits that didn't fit him, these leisure suits, and said stupid things and bragged about things that nobody else would, like how he cheated on his wife with hot women. And, I could go on. A lot of you are probably familiar with 1980s Donald Trump before he was made by a fake TV show into a successful businessman, a guy that had gone bankrupt 5 times and couldn't figure out a way to make money from casinos where people get drunk and just give you their money to lose chips and money. So there's not a lot he can do that surprises me, I admit, getting elected president, or at least with Putin's help and the rest. But I knew how crass and evil and selfish and stupid. He reminded me of an actually living, breathing George Costanza, who was funny on Seinfeld because he was every negative trait a male could have. The 7 deadly sins combined with the 10 commandments, combined with, that you don't, ignoring the 10 commandments and the rest, like, that was George, right? And that's what was funny about him, because he was fiction. Donald Trump is all of that in real life, right? And, so obviously a coup. I mean, I knew he was capable of it, certainly. I hoped we'd never get to that point. But I don't want to talk about that right now. I want to talk about what's the new obstruction in the golf course? My ball just hit off Ivanka Trump's grave. Or Ivana, sorry, Ivanka. So that's the thing. Donald Trump has laid his first wife to rest. Now, Ivana Trump knew who Donald Trump was. She divorced him in her original divorce papers. She accused him of rape, among other awful things. So how it remained in his control, in his hands, to decide where she'd be buried is absolutely beyond me. I have to believe there was some sort of economics there where he gave her a certain amount of money for this kind of control. But I would have thought that she could make enough money off of her name and everything else to break away from his financial control. I don't know. I don't know the answer. What I do know is she allowed this person, if he were alive, to make the final decision on where she would be buried. This guy. The guy that rips off military soldiers and makes them stay at his resorts on the way back from Europe. And the guy that had toilet paper stuck to his shoe as he walked on Air Force One. And I don't want to go through all the indignities and the grossness but burying your wife on a golf course, that is quite, or your ex-wife, that's quite a feat. And you knew there had to be a reason, right? It wasn't just hey, I'm shooting for a hole-in-one. Maybe I can get around the sand trap, over the trees, and slightly to the left of Ivana Trump's grave. You knew it had to be more than that. And of course it was. A sociologist who's also a tax researcher, Brooke Harrington, looked it up and found out, well, guess what? If you declare an area a cemetery, you win the trifecta in New Jersey law. And she's buried at the Bedminster, or as we like to call it, the Bedbug Minister, because besides her being buried there, there's probably about 80 billion bedbugs crawling around. They find them all the time. But she was buried there for a tax break, the trifecta, as Brooke Harrington referred to it. Sales tax. Let's see. Let's make sure we get all the tax breaks right. I believe it is sales, real estate, and property, income, and sales. Okay, so I did have it right. She got off from all three, or he got off from all three of those taxes. He got huge breaks because everything in Donald Trump's life is a tax loophole. Any way he can find to not pay taxes. Remember how Mary Trump exposed him and exposed his taxes to the New York Times? There are numerous years he didn't pay taxes, flat out lied about things, lied about his properties for tax purposes. He'd say, oh, well, this golf course is worth $35. And then when it came to a deal where he's trying to get somebody to purchase it, he'd be like, it's worth $35 billion. That's who he is again. But he buried her on the golf course, and he did it because there's no, there are no requirements for how many human remains you need to put there. You put any. So this guy didn't wait for somebody he theoretically didn't care about, although he doesn't really care about anybody. He buried his first wife, the mother of 3 of his 3 of his 5 kids, 60%. He buried her there. And he did it because it's a tax break under New Jersey law. property income and sales tax. So now you go to the golf course and you're playing, you're like, let's just play past, you know, when you play past a group in front of you. I'm not a golfer, but I've seen it on TV. Let's play around them. You're now playing around of Ivana Trump's grave. I mean, I can't even, I'm not sure words can talk about how classless that is, but it's so Trump University and Trump steaks and Trump water and everything else. It's so throwing a coup to stay in power. It's so Donald Trump. And I mean, I'm trying not to laugh because it's so pathetic and awful, while at the same time, it's pathetic and awful. Donald Trump's an awful man. Thanks for watching, guys. Please subscribe. Hit the smash, as the kids say, right, kids? Your notifications so you will know when I put up new videos. Like, comment, do all that stuff. Share. We've gained 1,000 people this past weekend, so we're doing great. And I want to thank you so much for that.